Okay, everybody. Well, I'm back. Welcome back to my channel. My name is T from Spicy Sweet Tea, and I am excited to share with you my journey of VSG, vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And today's vlog, I wanted to share with you just a timeline of my pre-op appointments and the things that I've been doing to prepare for surgery. Because as I look at the rest of you, your YouTube channels and your journey through this process, it appears that it moves a lot slower than what I'm going through. And so I just wanted to share my own experience, how fast it's moving, because it's moving really, really pretty fast, which is great. I feel very satisfied with. So we'll get into it. I also want to apologize. I just worked out, did the elliptical for a bit, so I'm a little bit sweaty. Good thing you can't smell through your computer screen, but that's why I look like I just got back from the gym. So let's get into it. So I first went to my consultation on June 21st. Today is June 25th, 2017, and so that is 4 days ago. 4 days ago, I went in and I initially went in to meet with Dr. Katie Irani, the surgeon at Lutheran Medical Center in the Weight Loss Center. I initially went in to go talk with her because I had done some research on the balloon, and they do the Reshape, which is the double balloon that sits in your stomach, or Bara is another one. That's just the single balloon. It came first. But Reshape is the double balloon. It sits in your stomach and ultimately minimizes, the amount of food that you can eat and fit in your stomach. So I went in, initially talked to her about that, and during that appointment, she had asked if I had ever considered the sleeve. And I told her that I had, because I had. I really thought about weight loss surgery, I would say for the first time about 3 years ago. I called my insurance company at that time, and I didn't qualify. You needed a BMI of 35 as well as a comorbidity, and I didn't have either of those at the time. So my BMI was a little low. I think I weighed maybe 215, 220 at that point. So my BMI was too low and no comorbidities. Then my insurance changed about a year ago, and again, I called my insurance company at that point to see if I qualified, and I still didn't qualify. It was the same like standards. Oh, there's my dog in the background. Hey, Porty. That's Porter. So I didn't qualify. I thought that meant I couldn't get the surgery, but upon meeting with Dr. Irani, she had said that I do qualify if I'm paying out of pocket. I could still call and see if my insurance company would cover it. Right after meeting with her, I called my insurance company and they confirmed that I did not qualify. But really because I didn't have a comorbidity. My BMI is sitting right at 35 at this point. But I don't have sleep apnea, I don't have diabetes, I don't have high cholesterol, I have none of those things. I've never had any of those things. So I didn't qualify for my insurance. So I have decided to pay out of pocket, and I think paying out of pocket is probably one of the factors that is making this process move so quickly, because I'm not waiting, for insurance approval or anything like that. So one of the bonuses of paying out of pocket is this process gets to move a lot faster. So for the consultation, June 21st, met with Dr. Irani, asked about the balloon. She suggested the gastric sleeve. And not only did I go home and call my insurance company, but I started researching the heck out of gastric sleeve surgery. And came across a bunch of all of your YouTube videos, found them very helpful. Thank you for posting about your journey, and decided pretty quickly that I was going to move forward with it. Again, this is not like the first time I've thought about it. I thought about it for some time, but this is, really the first time I ever made such a firm decision. So that consultation was June 21st. June 22nd, I met with the dietitian at the medical center that I'm getting the surgery done, and that was great. It was nice to talk with someone and be prepared for how my eating is going to change. She had these little, like these little plastic foods, almost like what little kids have. So, little children sometimes have those like those like little mini kitchens with like fake, fake pans and fake flippers and fake jars of milk and fake food. And she had the fake food, which was kind of cute. So I could like see, what size of food I'm going to be able to eat. So it's between a fourth to a half a cup of food per like meal or snack. And, that's not a lot. That's like this much. I'm trying to see if I have anything else here. Like the size of a Post-it note, not even. Like, that's pretty small. And we talked about, what I will be eating, pre-op, post-op, and, for the rest of my life. One thing that's kind of unique about this surgeon is she actually doesn't require a 2-week pre-op liquid diet, which I'm hearing a lot of you all have been through, or is kind of the norm. My diet is only a 1-week diet, and I will be able to eat solid food. So what the diet looks like is I will have a protein shake for breakfast, I'll have a protein shake for lunch, and then for dinner I will be able to have like a meat protein, so tuna, chicken, beef, something like that, for dinner, along with a little bit of cooked veggies. And so I'll do that for a week. And that feels wonderful because, after the surgery, you're on a 2-week liquid diet. And to imagine being on a liquid diet for 4 weeks is just, I think that I would go nuts. So it's nice that I will be able to eat, the week before my surgery. And of course, the hope is that that still shrinks my liver and makes my liver, floppy, and so they can like pick it up and get under to my stomach to do the surgery. But that was great. The dietitian had some concerns about my history of bulimia and binge eating disorder. If you watched my last video, you heard that I first struggled with and was treated for bulimia in high school. That was like 13 years ago or so. I stopped puking up my food, but I kept eating. And binge eating disorder wasn't really a thing 13 years ago. It's still just kind of up and coming. But for the last 13 years, I would say I really struggled hard with binge eating disorder, with food addiction, specifically with sugar and carbs, and turning to food as a coping mechanism to deal with stress and anxiety. And so the dietitian had some concerns about that, and we talked about, ways in which I've worked on those things. I've worked with a binge eating disorder therapist for an extended period of time, and learned a lot of different techniques that really go hand in hand with getting VSG. Things like counting how many times you're chewing your food, or putting your fork down between meals, or holding a conversation while you eat, slowing down, and ultimately making eating a mindfulness practice, like a meditation, really noticing your food, noticing the way it smells, noticing the colors. So those are all things that I have experience with before. And, there's been times where I've been more committed to using those versus other times. But I've done them before, and I know how to do them. And what was great is hearing the dietitian and the psychologist, which I'll tell you about that appointment in a moment, hearing them say that I have a pretty solid foundation already. So that was great. That same day, June 22nd, I also got some labs done. The surgeon wanted me to get some blood work done. And what they didn't tell me was that I needed to fast before I got that blood work done, fast for 24 hours before I got that blood work done. So I then had to go back the next day, June 23rd, to get my vitamin A lab blood work done, because that's the one that I needed to fast for 24 hours. So again, so far, June 21st was my consultation. June 22nd, I got the majority of my labs, met with the dietitian. June 23rd, I got my vitamin A blood work done. And then June 24th, which was yesterday, today's date is June 25th. So June 24th, yesterday, I met with a psychologist who performs the bariatric psych eval. And what was a little unique in my situation is that I met with someone who was not associated with the medical center. The majority of the time, the people who are getting surgery from the medical center that I am, they see a psychologist that like works for that medical center, and that's included in the total cost of the surgery, whether it's getting paid for by insurance or out of pocket. However, the earliest appointment that I could get with that psychologist was July 24th or July 27th, late July, either way. And if you watch my last video, you know that I have summers off. I go back to work on August 14th, and I was really hoping to have the surgery as well as 2 weeks recovery time before I go back to work August 14th. And so in August 24th or 27th, psychology or psych evaluation would not allow for that in order to get my surgery. So the medical center gave me the names of some other therapists in the area, or psychologists rather, in the area who are able to perform bariatric psych evals. The first guy I called was like, oh yeah, the psych evals take 2 to 3 hours, and then I write up a whole thing. So total, it's going to take me 6 to 7 hours to do this. So I'm charging you $1,000. Which was just shocking to me. Like, really? $1,000? That is ridiculous. I said, no, that's ridiculous. The other person they gave me could get me in the day after I called. I called June 23rd. She got me in June 24th. And she only charged me $150. So that's like, great. Okay. $150 still that I could have saved if I would have gone with the medical center doing the surgery. But I got in the day after. And now, check. That's off my list. Also, in terms of the psych eval, it was really wonderful. It was really great. I felt very supported in my decision. We talked more about sugar cravings, and one of the things I really appreciated that she offered was she had said, this is not going to get rid of your sugar cravings. When, you remove 85% of your stomach, yes, your hunger goes down and how much food you can fit in there decreases, but your mind doesn't really change. You are still going to have sugar cravings. You are still going to be a food or a sugar addict. That those things don't change. And so it's important for me to make a commitment to continue to work on those things, and pretty foolish to think that those things go away just by getting this surgery. And so, rather than being surprised when I have a sugar craving, like, where the heck did this sugar craving come from? How dare that still be present? To really prepare for it. Like, oh, yeah, here's a sugar craving again. That still happens. That's still a thing. To meet it with a little bit more gentleness, a lot less surprise, and to make a more wise, informed, and beneficial decision from that place. Just to be prepared for them, that those are not going to go away. They might change, but they're not going to go away. And she said what is great about VSG is that it's a tool to help you make better decisions, but also to help sort of like, what am I saying? It's a tool that supports the use of other techniques going better and be more effective. So I've used a lot of techniques. My last video, I've named like a million things that I've already tried and have been unsuccessful at. Now she said, you're going to be more successful. Like, those things are going to work better now. One of the things I really liked that she said is, don't think of your food addiction or binge eating as this thing that is going to go away or stop. But now with this tool, you are going to gain mastery over it. And so I really appreciated that reframe. That was just so nice to hear her say that. I actually took notes when I met with her, and I could read a few too right now. Some other things, it's very clear that my primary coping skill my whole life has been eating. And, she kind of warned me or reminded me that not only does VSG cause stress, it's going to be a stressful time in my life. Any major surgery is going to cause stress on the mind, on the body. So VSG is going to be a stressful experience. And on top of that, the surgery itself took away my coping mechanism. So the thing that I used to deal with stress, i.e. eating, is not going to be available anymore. So I might be like really angry for a period of time. I might even do some grieving and some mourning, which is kind of sweet. I already feel myself like grieving and mourning my stomach. Like I've been talking to my stomach a lot more, and you'll probably see a video at some point of me like throwing a funeral for 85% of my stomach, like write it a poem or something. My stomach didn't do anything wrong. Like it didn't do anything to deserve to be like cut out and thrown away. Like it's carried me through my life. Like, it's a part of my body, and I'm just like trashing it. I'm like throwing it away, like in the garbage, to rot and deteriorate. I don't know what they do with my stomach. I have no idea. I kind of want to like ask, or like I told my partner yesterday that I'd like to like keep it in a baggie for the rest of my life, or like a jar, like just like put it in a jar, so I can still talk to it. Like, how you doing, stomach? Clearly they're not going to let me keep my stomach in a jar, and that would be strange for anyone who comes over to my house anyway. But I will probably have a memorial for my stomach, because I'm already feeling some sadness about cutting it out and throwing it away when it's been here for, 31 years, and it has done nothing wrong to deserve death. Yeah. What I wish I could cut out was like my addiction to sugar and carbs, but that's been a hard journey. Anyway, back to the things that the therapist shared that was helpful. Already mentioned that. The struggle will not go away. She recommended I read Brene Brown's book on shame. I don't even know the name of it. I'll have to Google it. But she recommended I read that because what is becoming very clear is that I feel shameful. Because I feel shameful, I eat some more to deal with that shame. And because of that eating, then I feel more shame, and it's this vicious cycle. I mentioned that in my last video. But she said, the shame will not automatically go away unless I'm working on it. And then it's still not automatic. Obviously, I'm putting an effort. But shame is such a huge part of my relationship with food and my relationship with my own body that I need to really intentionally be working on those things. And, another thing she said that I appreciated is she said, right now you are fat and you feel fat. And I do. I feel, like the lens in which I see my whole life is like, I'm a fat person. Like every interaction, like, what is my fatness? How is my fatness impacting this? Like, even, I'm a working professional, and I just wonder all the time, like, what is me being fat? How is that impacting this experience with this other professional, or with my clients? I feel like I'm taken less seriously. I am more timid sometimes, less assertive, just a bunch of things. I'm viewing my life from the place of fat person, And she said that really won't go away. Even as my body begins to shrink and I get smaller and smaller and smaller, I still may feel like a fat person. And that's disappointing to hear, of course. I don't want to feel that way anymore. That's like one of the reasons why I'm getting this surgery, is because I don't want to be fat and I don't want to feel fat anymore. But she said that may very well still be the case. And, her recommendation, she approved me for surgery, but her recommendation is that I start to see a therapist. I say start. I have a therapist, but I don't go regularly. But I will be needing to because this is obviously going to bring up a lot. It already has. Some other things that we talked about is finding a different coping skill. So I've said my coping skill is food. It is, it works temporarily, and it works really damn well temporarily. Then it backfires and I feel like shit. But I really need to find a or several other coping skills that are going to help me and support me through this when I can't turn to food anymore, particularly when I'm at work. I work a very stressful, high-paced job, and food at my job is the way that I take breaks. So there's a bakery, an amazing bakery in my workplace, in my building. And if I just had a difficult client or a difficult work meeting, the way that I take a break is I walk down the 4 flights of stairs, so I get my body moving a little bit, walk down the 4 flights of stairs, get a cinnamon roll. And these aren't just dinky cinnamon rolls. These are like this big of a cinnamon roll. That's like Cinnabon cinnamon rolls, which, Cinnabon cinnamon rolls have like 5,000 calories in them. So I don't think this has that much calories, but they're big cinnamon rolls, right? And so I'll walk downstairs, get myself a cinnamon roll, take the elevator back up 4 flights of stairs, and then I'll eat my cinnamon roll. And that's the way that I like take breaks and deal with stress. And so I need to find a different way while I'm at work to deal with stress. And, the dietitian said the same thing, but the dietitian suggested like getting a dartboard in my office and throwing darts, or, still taking a walk, still moving. And those are all things, I haven't tried a dartboard, but I have tried some other things that I've tried and just haven't stuck to, haven't found a lot of success in, but that's going to need to change. I need to very quickly figure out another coping mechanism. So if you have some that worked for you, if this is a struggle you also have, if you found other coping skills to replace food as a coping skill, golly, I would just love to hear about that. Please leave me comments down below. It'd be just so nice to hear what is working for you. And, as my journey goes on, I'm happy to share with you the things that I'm trying out, the things that do and do not work for me to use instead of food. But I feel like that's really my primary work in this journey, is figuring out how to manage my compulsion for food and coping with stress using food. And then a couple other things that she named that I really like. So I have some embarrassment that I'm getting this surgery, and that's for a few different reasons. I have been fat my whole adult life, and throughout my life, much of the work that I've done with therapists around being fat is loving my body exactly as it is and having more compassion on my body, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it weighs. And, I was involved, I was like a part of this group of women, fat women, this group of women who all got together. We were called Thunder Thighs, and it wasn't really a group to like celebrate our fatness, but a group where we all like got it. We weren't surrounded by thin people. It was just us fatties hanging out, crafting mostly. Not feeling shame about eating pizza or something, And then I also have, I'm a member of HAES, which is Health at Every Size, that really promotes de-emphasizing weight. And living a active, healthy lifestyle, no matter what your body is shaped like. So, those are two very tangible ways that I have tried to be like fat positive and body positive throughout my life. But my attitude and my belief system also, I've really worked hard to, try to love my body no matter what it looks like, and to speak out against fat phobia, which is such a common experience in our society, people being phobic of fat people. That now that I'm getting the surgery, I kind of feel like I am betraying my beliefs, my values, those groups that I am and was a part of. So I'm a little bit embarrassed and ashamed that I'm getting the surgery. And what I loved about my psychologist that I met with the other day, was it yesterday? Yep, yesterday. Moving so fast. Time flies when you're getting VSG surgery. Is she said, Tanya, it sounds to me like you're a feminist, and one of the core components of feminism is having choice over your body and making decisions that are going to be best for you. And if someone else is going to shame you or guilt you over a choice that you're making over your body, then screw them. They've got no place in your journey. And I really appreciated that perspective. It was so nice to hear her say that. And damn it, I agree. Like, I get to make a choice that is best for my body. And, I've done that before with things. Tattoos. My parents, I got tattoos at a young age. I got a few. I got, this. Nope, not that one. This one. Got this one. Nope. This reverse computer thing is so strange. Got this one. I've had a bunch of piercings my whole life. And trust me, I've heard it from my parents saying, like, don't do that to your body. You'll regret that. But here I am. I get to make my own decisions, right? And I still do. Like, that's not changing just because now I'm getting surgery. Like, I get to make the decisions that are going to be best for me, that I deem appropriate for my goals and my values. And right now, my goals and values are living a life of fullness, having quality experiences, being able to move my body in a way that nourishes me, being able to eat in a way that nurtures me, that I feel good about, and feel like more in control of. Those are my values right now, and I get to make choices that are in alignment with those values. And so it was just so nice to hear the psychologist say that I get to make choices over my body. This is my body. I'm making the choices about my body. I get to live in it. I am living in it. You can tell I have strong feelings about that one. Oh, and then the one other thing that I wanted to name is, during the psych eval, she asks about my family history of mental illness, trauma history. When she asked about trauma history, I shared with her that I'm a sexual assault survivor, and I've done a lot of work around that. I feel like I own that identity pretty firmly, and feel really empowered about where I'm at in that. But she asked a question that I really liked. She said, Tanya, as a sexual assault survivor, you may be more sensitive to potential sexual harassment, street harassment that might happen after you lose weight. And I shared with her that as an adult, I'm never really experienced street harassment. Like, I remember experiencing that as a teenager. When guys would like hoot and holler at me. And I think as a teenager, when I believed that my worth was rooted in how much other people desired me, men specifically, I kind of liked it. It was like made me feel good. But now as an adult, I'm like, fuck off, dudes who, hoot and holler. Like, I didn't ask you for your opinion. Shut the hell up. And so, but I don't get hooted and hollered at as a big person living in this body. I can't even remember if that's ever happened to me as an adult. Like, I don't think it has. Like, I'm too fat for it. And maybe some other people have that experience living in a bigger body, but I do not. And so I liked that the psychologist was like, that may change, I mean, I'm getting older. I'm not like, 17. I'm not 22 anymore. 31. So I just don't even know how much to be prepared for. Like, when I go out, men don't even like give me a second glance. Like, they don't even look at me. And so to think that might change is going to be an interesting and potentially awkward and especially new experience. Like, what's going to happen if I get hit on? Like, that's weird. That's super weird. I can't even imagine that. Like, I don't even know if people still do that. I'm not really in the dating world anymore. But I'm like, does that happen? Do men hit on women? They don't hit on me. Not now. So if that changes, it's going to be so weird. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm loving, there's some videos on YouTube about like dating after weight loss surgery or sex after weight loss surgery. And I found those really fascinating and interesting, and I'm sure I'll be making some as well to share with you about that. So you can see that my psych eval was pretty beneficial for me. I really learned a lot. It was very insightful, very nice to talk about what to expect, what to be prepared for, and the things that I still have to work on, which my primary work is going to be on finding a coping skill or a series of them to do, because my main coping skill is no longer an option. Like, if I binge, I'm going to get so sick. I'm going to puke all over my clients or in a staff meeting. And that's just not how I want to roll. So, Great, so that was the psych eval. I'm going on like 29 minutes here, so I want to wrap it up. I hate longer videos. I like short ones, but it's so easy to ramble because there's so much coming up about this, you know? So if you're still paying attention, the one last thing that I want to name is my next appointment is July 3rd. I am seeing my primary care physician because even though I'm not going through my insurance company to get the surgery, I still have to have my primary care physician sign off and say that I have a good bill of health, I'm healthy enough for surgery. Excuse me. So that is July 3rd, and I'm going to be super surprised if she says no, I'm going to be like, what? All this work for nothing? So I'm hoping she says yes. I think she will say yes. So that's July 3rd. The good news, though, is my psych eval, the psychologist is sending the eval over to the medical clinic on Monday. That's tomorrow. And then after they receive that, I'm going to get a call from the medical clinic to schedule the surgery. So, woo woo, yeah, super excited. Gonna get a surgery date. I'm really hoping it is mid-July. That timing would work out so well with my schedule. And that's like in, 3 weeks, mid-July. 2 to 3 weeks, depending on when in the week. And when I spoke with the, assistant at the medical clinic, she said that is likely, that I'd likely get a surgery date for mid-July. So that is just coming up. It's moving super fast, y'all. This process is going so fast, which is so different than so many other YouTuber experiences. I just wanted to give you all a different perspective. Again, I'm sure that it's moving this fast. Number one, because I'm pushing it. Number two, I keep mentioning that I have time off to everyone I'm meeting. I'm like, oh, I have the summer off. Can we get this done before August 14th? So I'm reminding them of the urgency. And I actually think the biggest factor that is making this move fast is I am paying out of pocket. Insurance is covering nothing. So I've got some money in my savings account that was actually gifted to me from a relative. Thanks, Grandma. It's been in there for almost a year in my savings account. I'm like, what am I going to do with this money? I want to do something big. I thought about traveling, backpacking around the world. I love traveling. I love seeing new places. So I was like, oh, maybe that money can go to traveling. But this feels like a life-changing decision, and it feels like a great way to use the money in my savings account. So yes, it would have been great if insurance covered it, but I'm also feeling good about the ways that I'm moving forward. So that's all I got for you today. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel if you think this is fun times. Yeah, okay. Have a great day, y'all. See you on the flip side.